How to build trust. On page 182, he mentions about his wife changing into a dress before they're going out. Not a dress, but just getting ready.
Yeah.
And
I like this example.
He's asked what does he think, and he gives the honest opinion that it doesn't look good. I'm not too sure what it wasn't that made her outfit look good, but whatever it may have been, he was honest about his opinion, and he got cussed out for it temporarily. But not to give too much. No, sorry, not to give too much away. They're stronger for it. Now, my question being, have you been honest in such situations in past relationships? And that's to both of you.
Do you want to kick that off?
No, because I don't kick off a lot.
P.
Honest.
Have you been honest?
You're getting a rebound on this as well.
100%.
Say no more. Actually, I know your answer already.
Have you been honest in such situations?
I think you're quite a Mr. Nice guy when it comes to females. And I don't know if you actively stay
nice? Is that what you say?
I don't know if you actively say, do you know what?
I want to hear what got them.
Sorry.
No, so I think you're right in what you're saying. So yeah, I am Mr. Nice Guy, but I think because I'm generally well spoken, I may.
You could be a nice guy and still be honest.
No. I am honest. I may sandwich it, or because I'm honest, people just respect my opinion. It's not like I'm purposely coming out to hurt you. I'm just giving you my honest opinion on a situation. So yeah, I think like.
Have you been in a situation where you've had to give your opinion on whether they look good or not, and you genuinely thought they didn't?
I think you're asking for trouble, so I don't think I've ever done that.
So you haven't been honest.
No. Let me finish. I'll be honest. I don't think I've ever done that. The reason why I say so is because I believe like what you decide to wear is a view and opinion on your.
Even if you don't think it looks good,
they might think it looks good, but you still have an opinion, bro.
Yeah.
You might be like, actually, I've seen you look 1,000 times better.
No, of course. I mean, I'll throw something like that, but I mean, I'm.
Oh.
No. If you.
This guy.
No. So the reason why I'm not, because I've been with girls.
You got Tourette's again.
That's because you're trying to put me on the spot. So. No, I've been with girls who I don't necessarily like what they're wearing as such. What they're wearing is not necessarily for me, but for me,
rolling with it.
Yeah, I am. I'm still rolling with it. It's not a problem for me. I may tell the person what you're wearing, or that's not necessarily what I would wear. But like, obviously, no. But I mean, or given the choice, that's not what I would like you to wear. If that's the way you want me to rephrase it. But I'm generally
rephrase it however you want.
No, but I've never been put in a
Have you
situation.
said that
No, because I've never been put in that situation.
Okay. If you was in that situation, would you be honest about it and say, "Oh, babe, that looks dead," or not in those?
It depends where we're going. So like,
no, it doesn't matter where you're going.
let me be honest. Look, you know, it's quite funny. So these are things I don't care about. I don't.
He talks the hardest.
I know, bro.
No, because I'm backing it up, mate. I'm telling you, I don't care about this type of
backing
stuff.
up nothing.
I don't care about this type of stuff.
Okay, so alright, cool. So you and the missus about to step out.
Yeah.
To whether you're going to a restaurant, a dance, or whatever. She basically walks out in a bin liner. You're gonna be like, do you know what? I don't really care about
No.
Trashman gets some seven
No,
love.
you're saying bin liner. Bin liner, that's a little bit different.
No, but
it's
literally. But you know what I mean.
Listen, I'm not a materialistic person. I don't hold huge values. It is because if I don't hold those values, how can I judge another person based on those same values?
So you're happy for her to
not
roll out in a
necessarily-
bin liner?
It's not because she hasn't come out and all her dresses got G's all over it.
G's?
Gucci.
Okay.
What I mean is, she just might not. Maybe you was with her 2 days before, and you really liked her attire, and this time she's come out, and you're like,
It just doesn't go.
This doesn't suit you. It doesn't go. It's like, whoa, like, what are you doing? Would you actually say to her something?
She would have to look a hot mess for me to say something. But by and large, I wouldn't say nothing. I'm being dead serious.
That's fine, bro. That's all we wanted to know.
Okay, it looks like you're trying to engineer a different answer. But
No, not at all.
I
We're
wouldn't,
trying to
honestly.
get an answer
Engineer
from
the
you.
truth.
Yeah.
Engineer,
Like, you
I wouldn't,
really
honestly.
answering.
I've definitely been with girls who are wearing stuff that I don't necessarily agree with.
Can you give examples?
Nah, I'm not going to give any examples. I can think of a couple actually, like a couple examples, but I'm not going to give any examples.
This is just like that show which is Would you know? The one not for the... Yeah, that one. Just honest.
What about you, Mace?
I thought it was moving to you. Isn't it,
I'm happy
isn't
to...
it clockwise?
That's cool. Have I been honest? Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
I'll tell my girl or whoever I'm with, that looks dead. Or I wouldn't ever say it that rudely. I wouldn't just be that blunt. But I will say, if she'll get dressed and she'll do all the makeup on and she'll
Where you
step out
going?
the bathroom.
So where you going? Give us. Where you two going? No, because if you talk,
make a grown man joke. What's wrong with
no, where you not going? Let's add a bit. Let's
going, you know?
No, because if you're just going anywhere random, then for me it's not a big deal. But where you going? If you're going somewhere,
Who's talking? Me or you?
okay, sorry.
So, where you going?
No, not like that. I'm talking about like let's add a bit more context to the conversation. Where are you going?
No, it's my example.
Okay,
bro.
cool. No worries. That's fine. Go on.
Where you go with your people, where you go. As I said,
Fancy power station, boy.
I'm talking about a real situation that's actually happened. It's actually real. But like, she's got out. We was going to something to eat. Just to say that.
Cool.
That better. Cool.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Right. So she's come out after getting dressed, and she's asked me, "What do I think?" And I said, "I don't like that top with those jeans, or I don't like that shoes with that drop." And that's my honest opinion. Like, yeah, it's gonna be like, oh, well, I'm gonna have to change everything now. Cool, but you asked me, what do I think? Like, if you don't want to know what I think, don't ask me. But one thing I always said to any partner that I've been with is, I will give you my honest opinion. Like, would you rather I lie to you and say, right, look, you look dead, whilst you're looking like, I genuinely think that you look dead, and I'm just not gonna tell you, or would you rather me say, look, babe, I think you can put something on that's much better, that's more suited to your where we're going or to your attire, and this is just what it is. Like, it's not, doesn't mean I have a slight against you or I don't think you look good in general. It's just this particular outfit that you've chosen, I'm not with it.
Well, that particular face you painted on.
Yeah, exactly. Change that face and we're good to go. But yeah, no, I personally will be, I'm happy to be honest, and I would want them to be honest with me. If I'm not wearing something that looks good or however it may be, I'm not dressed appropriately, I would want them to be like, babe, listen, like, them
How do you
steppers.
take that? How do you, when someone says that, when a female might say, has a female ever said it to you? I've never said that they don't like what you're wearing or something. And how have you taken that? Because I know I'm like, I want to.
No, I'll take it. No, do you know what? One of my things that Barry meters, I'll ask my mum. I'll say, Mum, these ones are these ones or whatever. And she's like, nah, that's not making it or whatever. And I just, alright, cool. Like, I can even take your opinion on and say, well, I understand what you're saying, I'm going to change it. Or I'll be like, well, that's your opinion, I'm going to wear them anyway. Do you know what I mean? So I 100% take it on board because I'm willing to give it as well. So, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, now I've got history with this still.
Come on.
History with this.
I don't give no. I don't know.
Stop talking hard.
No. I don't give no. Because when I'm hearing stuff like this, it just sounds like a headache to me. Honestly, nah. You asked me. I'm being dead honest.
A headache? What sounds like a headache?
Why?
No, just like I don't get myself involved in conversations like this. Not necessarily conversation. I'm talking about.
No, but you've been asked your opinion by. It's not like you say he's come out. Like she said, I'm ready now, and you've been like, whoa. Like it's.
You've been asked.
No,
Like, what
you've
do you
actually
think?
been asked. What do you think? That's what I'm saying. So go on. Now go back to your headache.
Yeah. So okay, cool. Yeah, nah. Aspirin, please. Well, anyway, so like the point I'm making is, I made. You're talking about honesty now.
Yeah.
So there might be.
That was part of the question.
Yeah, I don't want to double back. So honestly, I've seen worse. I mean, like obviously, I've seen and been out with girls who are like of that, dare I say, that Dalston's Shoreditch, dare I say, kind of crowd where they wear any and anything kind of thing. So I've seen it all, dare I say.
So French mentioned this about for the he might mention something because of the occasion or where they're going.
So I'm very accepting. So
yeah, so you go in Dawson or wherever you're going around them sides, anything acceptable. A bin liner is acceptable.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no.
Over to you.
No, back over to you actually.
Did you finish?
Yeah, I'm kind of done. So you're saying like, but what I'm saying is I kind of just I don't need that headache. You know what I mean?
But it's not a headache if you don't. It's not a headache, bro. If you're being honest, I don't understand why you just say it's a headache.
Where I'm coming from is not. I don't want to say I avoid. I'm not avoiding anything in which.
So you just wouldn't give your opinion?
No, because I don't care. I honestly
That's
don't.
bullshit, bro.
I'm telling you the truth though.
That's bullshit. I call bullshit.
No, I'm being honest. I don't care enough.
Bullshit.
I don't care enough.
Bullshit.
So I'll tell a person.
So, alright, listen. Let me put you a scenario. Okay. So for the first time that your other half is gonna go meet your mum, you're happy.
That's different. No, because we're talking about. It's a little bit different. And in fact, sorry, let me take that back. Go on finish. Please finish, because I cut you up. Go on, finish.
There's not even no
go on, finish.
Answered.
Go on, finish.
The
reason why I brought myself back. The reason why I brought that back actually is because I actually want my mum to actually meet her and see her how she is normally. I don't want anything dressed up. I'm not a dressed up person in terms of let's now put you together to meet my mum. I wanted to see you with your front foot forward.
She walks in your front door in -10 wearing a bikini. You want your
No. See, this is what I'm saying. Are you stupid?
Exaggerated.
Yeah, so that's different. Are you stupid? Now I've got to question your sanity. Bikini.
But
I'm not questioning what you're wearing. I'm questioning whether I'm going to be with you now.
No, but to continue with the same theme, say she was to come in a one mini skirt, tits popping out,
Jesus.
and just, you know what I mean, straight flexing.
I'm saying, what are your values saying? That's what I'm saying. What are your values saying?
Okay, but would you? And if she said, "What do you think?" Would you be honest and be like, "Nah, babe, I don't think that's appropriate"? Or would you be like, "Well, I don't really care. And it's not really something I'm trying to have to." Would you actually?
I'm glad, because this is my thing. What I'm saying is, do you think that's appropriate to go see my mum, rather than do you like what I'm wearing? For me, there are two different questions.
What?
I don't know why you're confused. No. So you're talking about a onesie. So what were you saying? No, what were you saying? Go see my. Well, go on. What were you saying? Or one piece, or what did you say? What did you say? Go on, what did you say?
What bit don't you understand?
No, I'm not thinking what bit don't you not understand.
I can see why you got this headache.
No, go on. No, go on, say
That's
it.
why I understand.
Go on.
If she came to your house,
Yes.
with a one piece of clothing, tits popping out, mini skirt, thongs and stockings,
And it's like 4 outside.
doesn't matter what it is. I don't care if it's 37 or it's -4. She's coming to meet your mum for the first time.
Yeah, good. I've got the answer to this.
Would you be honest and tell her whether you think it's appropriate or not?
And this is what I'm saying. These are
Don't ask another question.
I'm not going to answer. No.
Answer
I'm
the
going to
question.
answer the exact question. I'm not going to run into the question. What I'm saying is these are two different questions. All right, and the reason why I'm saying no. The reason why I'm saying that, please let me finish, is because I'm going to say is, do you think that is appropriate? Versus, do you think there's let me finish. Don't interrupt me. Do you think that's appropriate? Do you think that's appropriate to go see my mum, which is completely different from, is this appropriate to go down to Pizza Hut or the Pizza Express or what have you? I don't mind what you do. No, the reason why I'm saying it's different is because if you think it's appropriate to go see my mum in something you're going to go
Dressed like that. That's the additional part.
Yes, but I've got no problems with you dressed, dare I say, if we're questioning
Looking
what
like a
shoes.
skeezer.
No. If we're questioning what shoes and stuff you're wearing or your jeans in terms of us just going out to a venue, I've got no problem with that. If you want to wear that, you want to wear it. That's your
For
interpretation.
everyone at home, Pocker's now stand up.
Yeah, I have stood up. So I'm trying to make my point.
Feel a sense of aggression.
No, there's no sense of aggression whatsoever. It's me making my point. And maybe you understand.
Bro, you're answering the question with a question. I said
I've
just
answered the question.
So what's your answer?
No, you're not happy with my answer. That's what it is.
No, you're answering a question with a question. So answer the question without a question.
Okay, and what I'm saying is, this is what I'm telling you. Now, I will question that person's values. If that person believes...
Alright, let's just move on then.
Okay, cool.
Freedom through commitment.
Can I answer the question?
Go on. You can do.
Alright, so I got history with this.
Go on.
So when I must have been about 19, 20, so 18, 19. So I think both of you guys know who I was dating back then. I remember once I was going. It was my brethren's. It was either my brethren's birthday or his older sister's birthday, or his older sister's something. It was something in and around Sloane Square area, wherever that Kings Road around there, Sloane Square. And there used to be a little nightclub. I don't know if it's still there no more. I can't remember the name, but it used to be a little nightclub. So I've gone to pick her up now, and she's come out now, and she's got to the car. I've wound down the window and seen what she's wearing. I told her straight up and down, go and get changed.
Yeah.
She didn't have to ask me what I thought she was.
Yeah.
I told her straight up. I just didn't think it was appropriate.
Yeah.
straight up and down. She went
I
inside,
heard
so
that.
and I told her.
Honesty.
Yeah. So you lot know that I'm dating someone at the moment. So even yesterday, so what was it was about being honest with your opinion and stuff. This doesn't even go to what the person's wearing. Cause me and her, the good thing about me and her is that we can have frank discussions, and she'll tell me like certain things I've got on, I'm wearing, or roll up my jeans or whatever, and I tell her no, I tell her yes, I tell her whatever, and it's the same thing as well. She'll put on certain trousers, and I know she's an out there person, and I'll be like, I don't quite like that, and what I like about her, she'll say, well, I do, I'm wearing it, and I'll be like, fine, but at least you know my opinion.
Yeah, of course.
But this is not to clothing, but the other, yesterday evening, I think she just brushed her teeth. She had gargling mouthwash and that, and you know what's it called?
You're gargling.
Gargling mouthwash and that. And she come in the room. She come sit next to me on the bed. She gargling mouthwash. I told her straight. I said, "You look ugly like that."
Wow.
Yeah. But we got that kind of
it's an honest
exactly.
relationship.
And we said straight. You can never go shopping for me. I can never go shopping for you. Simple as that. Simple as that. And we said we do a little pact whereby whether she buys something for me and I have to wear it.
Yeah.
The same vice versa.
That's a bit of fun. Yeah, cool.
Vice versa.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my answer.
So as you answered the question.
I did too. Just so everyone heard.
Okay. Freedom through commitment. I didn't add any notes to it. If there P you wanna
So freedom of
commitment. Freedom through commitment, shall I say.
So is that just after the boundaries?
How to build trust.
Okay, cool. Give me a second. I think the start of this is consumer culture is very good at making us want more, and more. Freedom through commitment. Okay, cool. From what I took from this is I've written down a few things, but from what I remember from taking back from it was that in making a commitment, then you then feel a bit more obviously liberated in regards to obviously what you want to do. I actually remember looking back, I left a position, I'm going to say March and April, and I didn't realise at the time how much weight it had taken on. I didn't realise at the time how much weight was actually on my shoulders as to taking this commitment on, taking this commitment on, which I actually didn't want, but I didn't know at the time. So once I relinquished that commitment and decided, you know what, I'm going to go to Barcelona, I want to do this or do that, I felt so much freer. That I don't want to say my creative juices, but I felt a bit more creative and I had a bit more direction as to what I want to do. And I just felt I knew what I was doing, if that made any sense. So I just felt obviously by making a commitment, I knew exactly what I was doing. Whereas before, I was probably a bit limbo. I was a bit in limbo.
Yeah, no, I get that. Totally get that. Anyone add anything?
Are you French?
Yeah, I can touch a few more. I just wanted to know anyone else.
As I said, I didn't notice.
Cool. So, there's a few things obviously that I highlighted. So I know obviously Mark Manson talks about how obviously he was a frequent traveller and he travelled for several years. So I think there's a point where he goes, there are some experiences that you can only have. There are some experiences that you can have only when you have lived in the same place for 5 years. When you have been with the same person for over a decade. When you have been working on the same skill or craft for half your lifetime. Now that I'm in my 30s, I can finally recognise that commitment. It's in its own way, offers a wealth of opportunity and experiences that would otherwise never would have been available to me, no matter where I went or what I did. So I think it was kind of saying like in being committed to something for 5 years or above, it kind of gave him, I don't want to say like, it gave him different experiences that he wouldn't have experienced otherwise. And I think what he was maybe saying beforehand was in being maybe in some places maybe for a limited amount of time. I don't know, he might have been saying something very similar or akin to that, was that you don't get the opportunity to experience certain things. Go on, Mason.
I think what he was getting at is it might look exciting to like move around and do certain things, and it might look just like a dull lifestyle to be with the same person for 10 years or be in the same place for 5 years. But in actual fact, if you take the positives out of that, you being in the same place for 5 years, you really know that place. You have familiarities and you can build. The same thing with being in a relationship for 10 years or longer. We're having to sleep with a girl every other week and getting the satisfaction or quick pleasure out of that. Really, you're getting to know someone. He mentioned something about the fact that when he was travelling, his friends were really settling down. He thought, oh, look at you. He doesn't say this, but what I've took for it is, look at you dimwits, like boring, blah, blah, blah. But actually, when he settled down, he realised you're with someone for 10 years or so, you get experiences you'd never get to seeing and dating all these women from all across the continent, like different countries he's experiencing. So he was kind of saying, don't, because you're what might seem to be a mundane lifestyle, don't think you're in a lifestyle or a life which is boring and dull. Actually, take the positives. Take like the things you're getting out of your lifestyle might be a lot more than what someone who's frequently traveling and moving about and dating different women gets. You don't always have a glass. Don't always have a glass half empty approach. Have a glass half full approach. That's what I took from it.
Good. Oh, cool. I agree.
Yeah, let me see. There might be one or two other things as well. Sorry, let me see what I take from this. The big story for me personally over the past few years has been my ability to open up to commitment. I've chosen to reject all but the very best people and experiences and values in my life. I shut down all my business projects and decided to focus on writing full time. Since then, my website has become more popular than I'd ever imagined possible. I've committed to one woman for the long haul, and to my surprise, I found this more rewarding than any flings, tyrus, I'm not too sure if that's how you pronounce the word, and one night stands I had in the past. I've committed to single geographic location and doubled down on the handful of my significant, genuine, healthy friendships. So again, obviously I thought that was quite an important statement as such. I think it's all well and good obviously travelling around and stuff like that, but ultimately I think you probably need to create or establish some type of roots at some point, whether it's obviously with where you live or with someone and stuff like that, to maybe to share your life and experiences with.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's up to the individual, just my personal opinion. I mean, someone that goes into their 50s and 60s still travelling, still seeking experiences, it might actually suit what they want from life.
Yeah, it might do.
So there's a lady I met when I was in Poland a few years ago. She's an Asian lady. When I say Asian, she's of like a kind of not Asian Indian, but Asian Oriental.
Oriental.
Yeah, she's American. She's American Asian.
Yeah,
if that makes sense. Yeah. And she was in her 50s, and she had taught in many countries, and I think she was after we finished our trip in Poland, she was shortly moving to like Costa Rica or Chile or something like that, and it suited her lifestyle. That's what she wanted. But I think what Mark Manson is basically saying is, if you're not living that lifestyle, or if you're living a different lifestyle, just, it's not, it's you still might be living the best lifestyle for you, even if it does seem dull or mundane or whatever it is.
Yeah, like again, obviously in chapter 8, I think the one thing or some of the things I took from it was about being very, very clear in kind of like what you wanted to do. So I know it talks about the importance of saying no and being bold, and as I mentioned before, being clear. Commitment gives you freedom because you're no longer distracted by the unimportant and frivolous. Commitment gives you freedom because it hones your attention and focus, directing them from what is most efficient at making you happy, healthy and happy. Commitment makes decision making easier and removes any fear of missing out. Knowing that what you already have is good enough. Why would you ever stress about chasing more again? Commitment allows you to focus intently on a few highly important and achieve a greater degree of success than you would otherwise would.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Again, obviously I thought that was quite strong. Yeah, I think the last thing I kind of highlighted as well was, yes, breadth of experience is likely necessary and desirable when you're young. After all, you will have to go out there and discover what seems worth investing in. So probably very similar to, I don't want to say the path that some people take in terms of maybe they finish their A-levels and they go travelling and stuff like that. Yeah. And ultimately, somewhere along the line, obviously they settle down. It's very, very important to go explore. And I know you mentioned obviously finding yourself and stuff like that, or a lack of finding yourself, depending on obviously how you want to phrase it as such. But at some point, no, it's necessarily at some point. It's just saying that obviously it's important to go out there and enjoy yourself kind of while you're young, really.
Do you know what's mad, P? Like, when I was...
Go question things.
Sorry?
No, I was just saying, talking to myself, go question things.
Are you going to talk to yourself whilst in the conversation?
Let's go, just echoing what I said, go question things.
Pete is the illest out.
You need to stick you on Shout Island, dude.
Get multiple conversations by this.
There's nothing wrong with talking to yourself, but go on, you were saying.
In a conversation,
I almost forgot my train of thought. I was gonna... Shit, I used to... You know what's mad, P? I never used to value the importance of what you just said about travel and experience and stuff, and then and then coming back and it maybe settling down, wherever it is. But I used to think, oh, that's just like the boring life. I swear, my life I used to think like that. Like,
got travelling.
No, like, do A levels, do uni, go travelling, come back, marry them kids, 28, house, more.
Yeah.
But do you know what? When I look back on it, like, it's the kind of experiences I've had from travelling. And I didn't do the travelling thing, just for those out there. I didn't do the 6 months to a year out or whatever they call it. I done the thing where I done my study and I messed around a little bit after school, so I was a couple of years behind everyone else. And then obviously started the full-time employment stuff. And then as my first big adventure, should I say, even though it was only, I was with you, Pete, but when I say adventure, it was a holiday where we travelled throughout the country, if that makes sense. It was a backpacking thing, even though it was in the same country.
Yeah.
And then we met some amazing people who we kept in contact with, and they kind of, I think their joy of life and joy of experience almost rubbed off on me. And after that, it was kind of my own, I don't know, on my...
It's your thing.
Yeah. And I didn't realise how important it was to go out there and meet people from all different... It sounds crazy, we didn't even get to spend no time, but remember the dude from Belgium we met? I think we was going in the cab, in the taxi on our way back, and there was a dude from Belgium with his missus, and I just thought, this guy's so cool. It's just...
I can't remember.
Yeah, but I guess there's so many times experiences.
You just meet all these people, and you're like, wow, that all these different types of people with different perspectives exist, and I've just been stuck in my little bubble in the bar of Ealing, or do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. And now I realise how important it is, and it's good though, because when you experience these things, you can pass them on, whether it's younger siblings or whatever it is, whether they want to take that on board, but because my parents never done all that, you know what I'm saying?
No, I definitely. I mean, I don't know. Like, not that obviously I was brought into the book. I really enjoyed the book. I enjoyed some of the humor and stuff like that. I know we're not at the end, but the fact that he went into some of his traveling experiences, for me, I was able to relate to him a lot more, because there's some of my experiences, although I've explained them, I don't ever believe anyone will be able to feel the way I felt because of the type of highs that I personally felt that I was experiencing at the time. So for him to them expressing and talk about, now I've got a great experience for being with my wife and being settled in a place and stuff like that. I don't understand obviously being with a wife and stuff like that, but I understand where those sort of things are coming from. Whereas now,
too much headache, right?
No, not necessarily headache. Not that's not a headache. But in terms of like, obviously I'm going away, but my intention is, or my thoughts are, do I believe I can do a backpacking thing again? Twice. So the 2 times I've been away, I thought, you know what, I don't think I can travel with that intensity again. But at the same time, when I've gone to Central America, I've told myself, you know what, I don't think I can. I think it's my last adventure like that. Whereas this time, I'm telling myself, you know what, I want to go to a place for a solid period of time, where hopefully we'll open up different type of opportunity and experiences and stuff like that.
Cool. Yeah, no, it's good. That's I'm totally agree with you, man. Start traveling is something I want to get more into. I mean, I've travelled to a few countries, but not really travelled. There's a lot of the earth that I haven't been to, and I would like to still take the opportunity when I can to do that. So yeah, no, I totally get where you're coming from. Moving on to the last chapter 9.
You die.
Yeah, to round off the kind of book, and then you die. Again, as I said, these and I made a disclaimer a bit earlier on, but these last penultimate and final chapter was I thoroughly enjoy. So unfortunately, I didn't have the time to really cipher through everything I wanted to cipher through and take notes and ask questions. But if there's anything that any of you guys kind of noted down in particular that you want to mention now, the forum's all yours.
Now, sorry, can I just go back very quickly to chapter 8? There was something, because I know we speak about stuff, I don't say we speak about this type of stuff often, but I know guys may do. So, it's about cheating. I know it goes, So many cheatees accept this responsibility at face value. I'm talking about in terms of cheating, and don't question the value and the fucks given by their partner. Pun totally intended. They don't ask themselves whether those values or Fs make their partner a good person to stay with. They are so concerned with holding onto their relationship that they fail to recognise that it has become a black hole consuming their self-respect. So we're talking about, I think it's talking about those individuals who've been cheated on. I'm right in saying so. Maybe taking back those who have cheated as such, and I think it's almost, dare I say, a conflict of values. But it goes on to say, which is a point I kind of wanted to make, was if people cheat, it's because something other than the relationship is more important to them. It may be power over others. It may be validation through sex. It may be given into their own impulses. Whatever it is, it's clear.
Maybe
that
they're just not happy with it.
I was just gonna say, no, sorry to interrupt.
that's
you,
all right.
But I was just gonna say, there's always gonna be compelling arguments from both sides.
No, but no. It's just, we're just having a little general conversation. So my
Yeah,
thing
no,
is,
of course.
is it really a case of that sometimes, we'll say the man, it could be anyone really, doesn't necessarily know the true value of the relationship until not it's gone, but until it's maybe in jeopardy, or just doesn't.
Yeah, and I agree with that. I definitely agree
Get
with that.
comfortable.
You get complacent, you get comfortable, you get bored, and you want to add a bit of thrill, a bit of excitement, something new, spice it up a little.
You know what you got at home is what you want in terms of this is the person I want to raise a family with, hold down a household with.
Spend the majority of your time with.
Yeah, but you know, it could be the fact that, and I'm not speaking from experience.
I'm not even sure. Yeah, and I know, like, but to also make it almost a disclaimer for yourself, but it's not. I forgot the point I was going to make, but it's not a case of this is a good reasoning for cheating, or this is justifiable by this, but it's not always as clean cut as, well, this person doesn't just value the other person in the relationship. It doesn't always pan out like that. But that's not to say I disagree with what's been said, 'cause I totally understand that, yeah, there will be a misalignment of values at one stage or another. But that's not to say overall that there is genuine love and value and respect of that relationship. And yeah, it is easy to say, oh, well, shit happened, or she was just there, or he was just there. That is the easy cop out. But I do think, again, that I think there is compelling arguments for both sides when someone may step out from the relationship, whether that is the man or the woman. Like, there's no right way about it, or there's no one's more right for stepping out than the other. So men aren't more justified to step out on a woman than a woman is justified to step out on a man. But as we know, these things do happen.
Okay. I mean, not the last thing, but literally just to come maybe summarise it, to build trust, you have to be honest. My thing really has always been, not saying that it won't ever happen, obviously I hope it doesn't happen. I've always said that I'd always find it very difficult to cheat on someone, in that honesty is really, really important to me, and trust is really important to me as well. And if I was in a position where I felt I was going to, then I'd rather communicate or set that with the person before anything probably took place. Or maybe I shouldn't be in that relationship. Maybe I don't necessarily value that relationship, and maybe it's something I need to step out from.
Cool.
Should we move on to chapter
We
9?
can really get deep with
Yeah, I
something,
know.
but we're not going to.
1.
Yeah.
Okay, chapter 9. Seek the truth for yourself, and I will meet you there.
I thought that was quite a good story that he spoke about. His friend Josh,
Yeah.
I believe it was, that ended up dying. Yeah, I mean,
Sorry, some backdrop.
the backdrop of the story is him and his friend Josh. They are at I believe it's a party by the hills and stuff like that, and they're drinking, and there's a mountain, and below the mountain there's a pool, and people are jumping in it because it's like 30 feet high, so it's not high enough for you to really shit your pants, but it's not low enough for you to not get excited about doing it, basically. What's his name? Mark Manson. He goes off to the house party, or the party that's up the top of the hill, and he says he goes up there with an Asian girl that wasn't really into him, and the Asian girl liked computers, so that really turned him on, because for some reason anyway. But basically,
he was a geek at the time.
That was hitting the jackpot, his words. They go up to the party, they go grab something to eat and something to drink, and on the way back down there's a lot of commotion at the bottom of the mountain or hill,
and they see
sirens, and basically what they go to find is that Josh has jumped into the pool below and killed himself, right? Or he drowned. Because it was so black, because it was at night time, they couldn't see where he was, so I think eventually he drowned because of.
But long story short, because of the alcohol consumption, and he was dehydrated, his legs cramped up.
Yeah, that's the bit I was getting to.
Yeah, so he couldn't. Basically, he jumped in, he couldn't swim out, and as you're saying, because it was so dark, the paramedics have taken time to spot him. By that time, he's drowned and basically died.
Yeah. Yeah. What was the point really?
Well, after that, I think what Mark Manson says is he didn't get upset straight away, and sometimes what he's saying in life is that doesn't happen. I can't remember what this relates to, but he said it doesn't happen. And it took him probably about 10 to 12 hours. He was about 18 or 19 at the time. And he was driving, I think for the next day he was driving home or driving somewhere. Yeah. And he rang his mum or his dad to tell his dad what had happened. And he's told them, and that's when it's all come out. And I can't remember what that related to, but I just remember.
I think obviously the phrase, I think his friend, I think used that phrase a couple of times obviously within the story. And then obviously when he's obviously unfortunately passed away and stuff like that, I think he's then maybe had I want to say a great appreciation for life in terms of, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, what I remember now, after that he's dreamt about his friend a few times.
Yeah.
And he got a question back from his friend in his dream.
Why are you so scared to die when you're not ready to live?
Yeah, why are you scared to die when you're not ready to live? Because, that's what it was.
Nah, I think you summed it up. If I'm honest, I didn't even remember that phrase, so I think you summed it up very, very well. But it goes back to, I think one of the chapters where we were talking before about death and stuff like that, and I was speaking about my dad's friend and someone else as to, I don't want to say maybe the summary of their life or the last thing I remember obviously of their lives where they kind of lived life to the edge or they always had a smile on their face and stuff like that. And the things that I've generally taken away from death as such is you only got so much amount of time on earth. And again, obviously I know he speaks about legacy and stuff like that, but it's a case of what do you want to leave behind? Not necessarily what do you want to leave behind, but at the same time, go out and make sure you fulfill your life with as many experiences as possible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, absolutely, bro. And try not to give too many fucks about shit that you don't want to give fucks about too.
It was a weird chapter also because it gets broken up with Mark Manson in South Africa, and I didn't realise what's it called when. Because I didn't know if this was a real story or if it was like a story he was.
Oh, he's talking about sitting at the edge of the cliff.
He's really living life.
Yeah, he talks about he was in South Africa at some point in South Africa.
Yeah, the lowest point of South Africa.
Lowest.
To be the lowest point of the world. Apparently.
Right. So I can't remember what the actual place is called or the mountain, wherever it is.
The good point or something like that.
Point, right. But it's weird because it's almost like he gets to the edge of the cliff.
Yeah.
And he talks about, what happens when you're close to the edge of feeling you're gonna die basically, because as he gets to the edge of the cliff, obviously his heart palpitations start to increase, and he starts to get, when you get the knobbly knees, and these are not words he uses. This is how I've summarised it. Knobbly knees, and all of a sudden his legs not cramp up, but it's almost like his brain is engaging with his body and saying, "Where you going?" But you don't know whether he's actually there to jump off, or he just wants to get this sense of feeling alive still. And I think another tourist comes up to me and says something. You're right. He says, "Oh, great view," or something.
So, are you saying you didn't understand?
But what I didn't understand is it a true story, or is he just when you kind of give you I don't know how to explain it.
It sounds like a real story.
You tell a story. I thought it was. You tell a story to help.
To make a point.
I understood the point though.
It's like a term for it, but I can't remember what it is.
It's not parable, is it?
No, it's like you tell a story almost to make a point about how important living life is. I don't know. It's a term for it, but I didn't. It was weird. It took me to a weird place. I didn't expect that from the last chapter.
No, I liked it. If I'm honest, the way
I think it sums it up well. Almost not giving a fuck about dying, so to speak, because he's so close to the edge that he's facing his fears and facing death and looking down at what could ultimately be the last thing that he sees, and he's taking it in for that moment. So that's like the soul art of not giving a fuck by edging closer to the cliff edge, and dangling his feet there and sitting there and taking the beauty for what it is.
I kind of took that as well. He was constantly talking about, dare I say, pushing himself, taking one more step and then one more step and one more step, and that's almost like relinquishing any fears that you have. And then I know towards the end of that story, he talks about seeing the view, of like where I think it was a C or what have you kind of thing. So it made me
Yeah.
think it was a case of, you know what, just keep taking the more you progress and kind of like let go of your fears, you're going to see something obviously a bit more wider in terms of the things that you may go on to achieve. I know he goes on to talk about like humans in general, and he goes like humans are unique in that we're the only animals that can conceptualize and think about ourselves abstractly. Dogs don't sit around and worry about their career. Cats don't think about their past mistakes or wonder what would have happened if they'd done something differently. Monkeys don't argue over future possibilities, just as fish don't sit around wondering if other fish would like them more if they had longer fins. Which is a case of, for me, I don't want to go back to the just do it thing, but a case of literally just stop thinking about stop thinking and stop procrastinating, or stop thinking. You know, sometimes we have a habit of over analyzing maybe situations.
Yeah.
So that's what I took from that person. I don't know if you took anything else.
That's it for me. As I said, I think, without giving too much away before doing a book review, I will be reading it again.
Okay. So just one last thing. How will the world be different and better if we're gone? And what mark will you have made? What influence will you have caused? They say that a butterfly flapping its wings in Africa can cause a hurricane in Florida. But what hurricanes will you leave in your wake? I'll leave it there.
Thank you for listening, guys. Thank you, and look out for the book review.
Peace.
This is what you don't have no manners.
Who, me?
Yeah. Don't have to say bye.
I can say bye.